Hi, and welcome to another episode in Vedic Astrology. So last time I did an episode on exalted and debilitated planets, and here I'm going to actually take a step back and talk about the various planets and what they really mean. So, so in Vedic astrology, we've got nine planets, okay, and they are the sun, the moon. See, sun and moon are not really, as you know, men and women of science. You guys know that sun and moon are not really planets, but in astrology they are considered planets. Okay, so the nine planets in Vedic astrology are the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, um, Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu, and Ketu. Okay, so if you know something about Western astrology, um, uh, there you've got 10 planets. 10 planets. Yeah. So basically, in Western astrology, you don't have Rahu and Ketu. You've got the other seven, but plus you've got three extra planets: Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So in Vedic astrology, we don't have those three really outer planets. We've got Rahu and Ketu. Okay, so let's quickly go through the list of planets and just see what their characteristics are, what they stand for, and so on. Okay, so let's start with the sun. The sun. So what does the sun represent? Sun represents your basically sun represents your soul. You know, your ego, your yourself, basically your body, um, things like that, and it's representative of what you're really, what people know you for. It's a general representation of that. Okay, what you're really famous for. Okay, so next is the moon. Moon. What is moon? Moon represents your emotions. Actually, I forgot what to say one thing about the sun. Sun up also represents your father. Okay, now by contrast, moon represents your mother, and it's a representation of your mind, your emotions, and it's your mental state, generally in life. What things like your emotional makeup, and what you like to do when you're alone. Okay, all by yourself, right? Next is Mercury. Mercury is a planet of your thoughts, your communication, your talking ability. It could even be your voice, your singing ability, and so on. Your singing ability depends on other factors, but it's generally Mercury is all about your voice. All right. Um, so that's that. Mercury also represents um, your intelligence, um, and just your general communication ability. Mercury is a god of communication, if you remember. So that's what it is. Then you have, then you come to the planet Venus. What does Venus represent? Venus represents your interactions with the opposite sex. Okay, Venus represents what you do in your leisure time, what your hobbies are, things like that. When Venus is a planet of luxury, so what you do when you have the luxury of time is what Venus represents. Okay, and as I said, Venus is also um, represents your interactions with the opposite sex, and it's also your artistic ability. Uh, so if Venus is prominent in your horoscope, it means that you're an artistic person. Okay, then we've got Mars. Um, just like Venus is kind of a feminine planet, Mars is the total opposite. It's a masculine planet. It represents your 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 aggression. It represents violence. It represents um, uh, what you want to go for with all your passion. Okay, what you things that you really um, you're aggressive about. You aggressively follow certain things. That's what Mars is all about. It's violence. It's basically a planet of testosterone. Then you've got um, next one. What's the next one? Jupiter. Okay, Jupiter is basically it's a planet of knowledge. Okay, wisdom, and it also represents stuff like sports, um, banking, finance, and just that sort of thing. Venus is also it's a planet that gives a lot. It's a lucky planet. It's one of the benefic planets in Vedic astrology. Okay, so Venus is very lucky. If sorry, not Venus, Jupiter is a planet that gives you a lot. So wherever Jupiter is placed in your horoscope, you'll be blessed with a lot of what sign that it's placed in or what house it's placed in. Okay, so then you got Saturn. Saturn is kind of the opposite of Jupiter. So when Jupiter is expansive, it gives you a lot. Saturn, it actually takes away. It's restrictive. It um, it it does not give you things. It takes away. It doesn't take away. It just it's like this. It it delays gratification. Okay, so it gives you lots of hard knocks in life. It teaches you lots of lessons before it finally gives you what it's supposed to give you. Okay, that's why Saturn is considered by many people as unlucky, as a planet to be feared. That's not really true. 100%. It is, it is. It's not. It's a hard taskmaster. So it's like that teacher in your school who punishes you a lot. Okay, but in the it's good for you because that teacher punishes you in the process, making you very good in that subject, right? So that's what Saturn is. It's a really really hard taskmaster. Okay, now finally we come to these two planets, Rahu and Ketu. So Rahu and Ketu are not actually real planets. They are not. There's no planet called Rahu. There's no planet called Ketu. They are just imaginary points in your horoscope. Okay, so and they are always 180 degrees apart. So if Rahu is in Sagittarius in the third house, Ketu will always be 180 degrees away, 6 houses away, which is the ninth house and Gemini. Okay, and they are both always retrograde. They're not direct planets. So we'll talk about that retrograde, direct planets, and all that. But for the time being, I'll just let you know that they are both retrograde planets. So what do they represent, right? Rahu represents obsession. Okay, it's a materialistic planet. It basically gives you an indication of what you obsess about in life. Okay, so wherever Rahu is placed is something that you really really obsess about. You just want it, and it gives you a lot of um, fake confidence. It's if Rahu is placed in your first house, it means that you are a very very vain person. You obsess about your appearance and your physical appearance, and you just that's the only thing you care about. It's that's what it is. Whereas Ketu is kind of put it this way. Ketu gives you a feeling of emptiness, and it creates a feeling of void, which in turn makes you want that thing. Okay, so if Ketu is in is in the seventh house. Okay, in this example, it makes you want um, a partner, a romantic partner, because it even though you may have um, it basically will make you crave partnership, romantic partnership, like a girlfriend or a wife if you're a male, that is, um, because it makes you empty inside. It doesn't it gives you the feeling that you can only be fulfilled. Your life can be fulfilled only if you have a romantic partner all the time. So that's what Ketu does to you. Okay, so this is just a brief description of the various planets that you will have that everyone has in their horoscope. I hope useful, and in the next episode, I'll talk about the other things like the various astrological signs um, that are there in your horoscope. Okay, stay tuned till then. Bye bye.